Hello, everyone. Welcome this evening. So I'm going to do the welcome as we're going to have elections. Welcome. Lynn Strawn, trustee, is replacing Dana Powell as trustee on Seac. She does regret for tonight. And Sarah Ferguson, welcome, is now the representative for CLH Developmental Support Services. Welcome here. And of course, we also have our director, Don Stevens, with us, and Danielle Ward, our SEAC coordinator and computer software technician in special ed. And I believe Lisa Creighton, is she here? She's not here yet. I believe she's supposed to be joining us as well as a guest. So at this time, I'd like to ask Kelly Bell to read the land acknowledgement.
Okay, thank you. Simcoe County District School Board acknowledges that we are situated on the traditional land of the Anishinaabe people. The Anishinaabe people include the Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. We are dedicated to honoring Indigenous history and culture and committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect with all First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people.
You're muted, Greg.
Whoops, sorry. And at this time, thank you very much, Kelly. I would like to invite Jody Lloyd to read our statement of beliefs. Sorry.
Based on our belief in respect, leadership, integrity, collaboration, compassion, student-driven services, and the right of all students to be included, we advocate that all students have equitable outcomes to learn and participate in inclusive school communities. They are supported in developing and maintaining relationships and participating in freely chosen activities and groups that result in a sense of belonging. Students' unique learning styles are recognized and planned for in a caring and sensitive manner, enabling them to learn and participate with dignity and respect. Student strengths and special education needs are identified and responded to early, as this is paramount to their growth and development. Based upon best practices and research, the Scdsb will adopt proactive, innovative practices to promote individual student capacities and gifts while addressing their special education needs. Education services are
You got muted there, Jody. Sorry. I don't know how that happened.
Sorry. I'll restart with the last one. Education services are delivered using a collaborative and flexible process centered on the strengths and needs of the students, inclusive of family, school, and community, and based on the best learning outcomes for the student. The student's voice is key to all decisions made on behalf of and with the student.
Thank you very much, Jody. Yeah, I noticed some people are getting bumped out and coming back in, so I'm not sure what's happening there. Um, but Lori, roll call, we still have seven, correct?
We
Just
now
count.
have 8.
We have eight.
Yes.
Excellent. We have quorum, so we can proceed with the election. So I have a little bit of a script here that I'm going to read. So this is for the election of chair. So as per board bylaws, and this applies to both chairperson and vice chairperson, as per board bylaws, I would like to outline the process for tonight's virtual Special Education Advisory Committee meeting for the elections of the chairperson and vice chairperson. I will be designating Principals Maxwell and Francis to act as tellers to count the ballots for these elections if required. If only one person is nominated and accepts the nomination, that member shall be declared elected by acclamation. Where more than one nominee accepts a nomination, a vote will be taken by emailed ballot, and the member receiving a majority of those votes, the votes cast, shall be declared elected. If no nominee receives a majority of the votes cast, the name of the member receiving the fewest votes shall be dropped from the emailed ballot, provided at least two nominees shall remain on the ballot. If no nominee receives a majority and two or more nominees are tied respecting the fewest votes, those nominees will be asked to email Executive Assistant Wright and me a number between 1 and 10. Prior to the nominees emailing their numbers, I will choose a number between 1 and 10, which I will share via email with Executive Assistant Wright and Principals Maxwell and Francis. Once Executive Assistant Wright and I are in receipt of the numbers emailed by the nominees, I will advise Principal Francis, who will state the number chosen by me. The nominee whose number is closest to that number without going over will remain on the ballot. If all the nominees go over the number chosen by me, or all of the nominees choose the same number, I will choose another number and the above process will be repeated. If there are two or more nominees tied, and two of these nominees choose the same number that is closest to the number chosen by me without going over, and the other remaining nominee's number was not the closest or went over, those nominees will be dropped from the ballot, and the above process will be repeated for the remaining nominees who choose the same number. In the event of a tied vote with two nominees remaining, the process outlined above regarding tied votes will be followed. The nominee whose number is closest to the number chosen by me without going over will be the successful nominee. If the two nominees go over the number chosen by me or pick the same number, the above process will be repeated. When I call for nominations for the office of the chairperson, a seconder for the nominations is also required. I will then ask each person nominated if they accept the nomination, and I will then be asking 3 times for other further nominations. Once the nominations have been completed, the nominators will be provided with the opportunity to speak to their nomination. If only one person is nominated and accepts the nomination, that member shall be declared elected by acclamation. Those nominated will also be given the opportunity to speak to their nomination. The order of speakers will be based on the order of the nomination. Once the nominations have been completed and those nominated have spoken, members will be asked to email their ballot to Executive Wright and me. The ballots will then be emailed to Principals Maxwell and Francis. The principals will provide the teller's report to me, and I will then announce if a candidate has received a majority of the votes and is now chairperson of the Special Education Advisory Committee. So Seac members by motion may order the destruction of the emailed ballots cast in the elections. I will now call for nominations for the office of the chairperson of the Special Education Advisory Committee. Kevin? Oh, you're muted. Still muted. I didn't hear it.
Sorry. Nominate Brandy Rafik.
Brandy
I have a
Rafik.
second.
I'll second that.
Who seconded that? Sorry. So Kevin
Jody.
is nominating. Jody is seconding.
Yep.
Brandy, do you accept this nomination?
I do, but I also just would want to throw out there that if anybody else would like to be chair, I would be happy to not accept the nomination. I've been chair for a long time, and if anybody is sitting there thinking that they'd like to give it a try, I would be happy to let that happen.
Thank you so much, Brandy. Appreciate that. Are there any further nominations for chair? Are there any further nominations for chair? And third time, are there any further nominations for chair? So by acclamation, Brandy Rafik is the chair of Special Education Advisory Committee. Congratulations, Brandy. Can I pass it over to you? Or do you want me to finish the vice chair?
Yeah, no, I'm okay to go.
Okay. I'm passing it over to Brandy.
Thank you very much. No one was taking my hint there that to take it over, but that's okay. I love this committee and I'll be happy to continue. Thank you, Lori. You're very fast. I just saw an email pop up. If everyone could just give me half a second here. I know Lori's sending me things that I need to read. Okay. All right, so sorry about that. So looking at our agenda. Okay, so that takes us to 5 on our agenda. So election of the vice chairperson. So as Superintendent Jacob said, we will follow the same process of everything that he read, that very long speech. I won't read that again. So at this time, we would be looking for nominations for vice chair of the Seac committee.
People are allowed to nominate themselves, by the way.
Trustee Lloyd?
I would be happy to nominate Kevin.
Kevin Barry, thank you. Do we have a seconder for that nomination? Andrea, thank you. And Kevin, will you stand for the position?
I will, yes.
Thank you. I feel like you're giving the same speech that I was.
Basically. It took me 10 years to get it out to you.
Yes, that's okay, but you're still here, and that's everybody wants that, obviously. All right, so I will ask then, are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? And for a third and final time, are there any further nominations? All right, not seeing any, then Kevin, you are acclaimed as vice chairperson of the Seac committee. Congratulations. All right, thank you very much, everyone. Okay, so now we can get to the agenda. So at this time, I would be looking for an approval of the agenda. Do I have a mover for that? Trustee Lloyd, seconded by Kevin Barry. Thank you. Any questions or comments on the agenda? I'm not seeing any, so I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that carries. Thank you. All right, so next we'll be looking for approval of the minutes from our last meeting. So do I have a mover to approve the minutes? Kevin, thank you very much. I have a seconder for that. Trustee Lloyd, thank you. Any questions or comments on the minutes? Okay, now I'll call the question. All those in favor? And that carries. Thank you very much. All right, do we have any declaration of conflict of interest this evening? I'm not seeing any. Okay, so that takes us to presentations. And first up, we have Director Stevens is here to discuss the Director Performance Appraisal with us. Director Stevens, go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. And through you, Trustee Rafiq, thank you very much to the Seac committee for allowing me to come this evening to talk about the Director's Performance Appraisal. So as part of the new Ministry of Education Director's Performance Appraisal process, school board trustees are required to collect feedback through consultation with a variety of raters, including staff, union representative, committee members, and community partners. In compliance with ministry requirements, the Simcoe County District School Board has hired an external company, Stratford Group, to lead the performance review process. So Stratford Group will be delivering an easy-to-use online 360 feedback survey appraisal process that will launch the second week in February, which will enable analysis for the purpose of gathering broad feedback of the director's performance relative to the goals set out and support the identifications of opportunity for development. I will be attending various board committees, including Seac tonight, to provide individuals with some background information regarding the process and to extend an invitation for you to participate as members of Seac in this important initiative. The objective of the survey is to gather insights on high performance areas and opportunities for continued growth and development. And we really value your input as outlined in the goals of the Scdsb strategic plan. So this plan serves as our roadmap, guiding our decisions, shaping our programs, and the goals we aim to achieve. So just as a note, it is a director's performance appraisal. It's called that. It's about me as the director. But for members of the committee who of Seac, for instance, the questions are more like guided towards the board and the board programs. Myself as the director, I'm responsible for the board work and the work of the board. And so when you're talking about how you feel or you rate how certain programs are being run or certain initiatives that you have feedback on, that then directs the trustees to understand how people are feeling about the work of the board. So it's not, what do you think about Don Stevens? It's really, what do you think about the work of the board and how Don Stevens is leading that work? So next steps will happen during the last week of January. So communication will come in various steps. So first, every member of the committee will receive an email from me just reminding you of this conversation that we've had. And then a few days prior to the launch, committee members will receive an email from the Stratford Group regarding the survey questionnaire and with deadlines and other relevant details. And the date of the survey launch, you receive an email link to complete the survey. And the survey takes less than 15 minutes to complete. And your anonymity in this process is assured, as all rater responses are pooled and presented in a summarized report, which is only available to Stratford Group. So your feedback is critical in helping me to continue to improve and serve our SCDSB community. And I thank you for your consideration, support, and time. And with that, Chair Rafik, I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any on this.
Great. Thank you very much, Director Stevens. Does anyone have any questions? No? Okay, so everyone will watch for the email. Yes, I really encourage you, please, to fill out the survey. I know we all get inundated with lots of things like this, but if it's similar to one that we filled out, it is very short. It really doesn't take a lot of time, but it really, really is important to the work that the trustees and the director are doing. So we would really appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
Yes, I should have mentioned that. Thank you, Chair Rafik. The trustees have already completed theirs, so they won't get it a second time. But it is one that is separate to community organizations such as Seac, to our committee work. So I really would appreciate it if you would look for those emails towards the end of the month and the beginning of next month. So thank you.
Trustee Lloyd?
I just wanted to let everybody know you may have to search for the email. I had to search for it because it got filtered. So just check for that. It sort of comes from a bulk, seems like a bulk processing. And so as a result of that, it wasn't in my inbox.
Thank you for that, Chair or Trustee Lloyd. Yes, that did get a couple of people, so we appreciate that reminder. Okay, all right. Well, thank you for joining us, Director Steve. Oh, sorry, Kevin, please go ahead.
It might help if we sent out an email from Seac when they're sent out to check your junk mail. Because we get our mail, but we may
Yes. Thank you.
If you sent out the mail, please check your junk mail.
That's a great idea. I can ask Executive Assistant Wright just to follow up once I know they've all been delivered, so everyone can go searching for it, as Trustee Lloyd said.
Perfect. Okay. We have a plan and we have our assignment. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much, Director Stevens. You, of course, are welcome to join us, but if you would like to continue on with your evening, you are most free to leave us as well.
Thank you. I appreciate everyone's attention and enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thank you very much. Okay. Before I move on with our agenda, sorry, I got a bit thrown off at the beginning of the agenda being a bit different there. I wanted to give our newest member, Sarah Ferguson, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I did want to give you a minute to introduce yourself if you'd like. You can feel free to go ahead.
Thank you very much. So as was mentioned at the beginning, I work for CLH Developmental Support Services. I come from my career so far has been in early intervention in Simcoe County, primarily working frontline as a resource consultant, as well as involved with the management team and supervising a few of our teams. Currently, my supervisory portfolio is overseeing our implementation of the Entry to School program through the OAP, which some of you may be familiar with. So I am definitely grateful for the opportunity to be part of this committee and looking forward to learning more about the work that we do too.
Great. Thank you very much. It's great to have you here. We look forward to your participation in our discussions and your feedback. Thank you. Okay, so moving right along in our agenda, that takes us to 9B. So Seac A7B, Specialized Equipment Allocation, SIA, Assistive Technology. So we have Danielle Ward and Principal Francis. Principal Francis, I'm guessing you'll start us off.
I will. Thank you. Through you, Chair, to the committee. Just want to thank Danielle Ward, who's here tonight with this presentation. She is a valued member of our central team, is the SIA, which stands, as most of you will know, for Specialized Equipment Allocation Coordinator for Assistive Technology. She is also a SIA Computer Software Technician. So she is going to share some information with us about her portfolio tonight. And I'll turn that over to you, Danielle.
Thank you, Megan. Appreciate everyone for inviting me here tonight. Lovely to be a part of your meeting. I'm just going to share my screen with you. Let me know if that works. Perfect. Okay, Megan has already introduced myself. I'm a SIA coordinator for assistive technology, as well as a SIA computer software technician, which is short form for CST. Basically, what that means is I go into schools and train staff and students for SIA, but we'll get into that later. So, understanding the role of assistive technology. Assistive technology plays a crucial role in enhancing learning experiences for special education students. By providing tailored tools and resources, assistive technology helps to create an inclusive environment that meets diverse needs, enabling students to engage fully in their education. Its integration fosters independence and promotes equitable access to learning opportunities. Benefits of assistive technology. Access to curriculum provides engagement to all students. Communication support, we have low-tech augmentation devices such as GoTalks and GoTalk 20s, as well as we've been recently introduced at the beginning of last year, we started using GoTalk Now app for iPads instead of just having the option of 20 prompts for students for communication. It gives us a more wide range of options for students. It also provides literacy support for our students. It promotes reading and writing skill development. We also have a special tool built within Google Read and Write, which is called Practice Read Aloud. It is a great way for any of our students, really not just our SIA students, to provide fluency and reading. So it's really good for elementary teachers to start utilizing, because sitting there with every single student consistently throughout the year, it's a great option for students to practice their fluency, and the teachers to hear the students recording of their voices as well. Assistive technology is a learning tool. It offers alternative tools for our students who have a variety of needs. So assistive technology has a great benefit for social and emotional needs of students. The use of assistive technology boosts confidence of our students. Students tend to have an increased self-esteem when the tools support their needs and empower them to participate fully in learning activities. It fosters independence and a sense of achievement for our students. The use of assistive technology also fosters independent learning. It fosters autonomy in the classroom by enabling students to take ownership of their learning process, make choices that suit their individual needs, and develop problem-solving skills that prepare them for lifelong success. The importance of assistive technology. Assistive technology addresses varied learning styles effectively by providing personalized tools and strategies that cater to individual strength, ensuring that every student can access, engage with, and demonstrate their learning in ways that work best for them. Assistive technology removes learning barriers by reducing obstacles, facilitating smoother learning paths, and creating equitable access for all students. So we did a little trend research on our assistive technology. There's been an increase in demand for assistive technology devices, particularly Chromebooks and iPads. In 2024 to 2025 school year, 986 devices were assigned to students. This does not include the upgrade of devices. This is just devices alone. And this year, currently, we're at 510 devices already assigned to students. And that, again, does not include the upgrade of devices as well. SIA training is provided for assistive technology, as mentioned before. We have SIA site-based training upon request for a request form linked in our special education website. The training is provided to any Simcoe County District School Board staff member, includes classroom teachers, search educational assistants who require this training. Training is provided to any Simcoe County District School Board SIA student as well. Training is offered in numerous ways. Either it's offered in a one-on-one training, it could potentially be in a small group setting, or it can be the entire class, depending on the SIA student's needs. So sometimes we will go into classrooms and train just students one-on-one. Sometimes we'll meet in a small group of students, and then again, we'll go back and meet with them, maybe with that student and their entire class, and review what we have learned and teach all the students how to use SIA. Recently, we have started using this method because we believe that anyone could benefit from the use of assistive technology. And we believe it removes the stigma of I have SIA and I'm different than other students. So we just created sort of inclusive environment for students around SIA assistive technology. When a new device is sent out to students, the CERT who receives the new device also receives a survey via email. And the CERT can then determine as well if the student requires additional training. And the feedback would be sent to us as SIA CSTs. And we would be able to determine what sort of training the student would require. And we would connect with that CERT to set up the training as well. A number memorandum was also released about how to book accordingly to book a supply for staff who require this training, as well as for them to have that link to book us coming into the classrooms, as well as schools to train staff for students. So currently, the special education budget covers the following special education software that we use for our SIA students. Right now, we use the program under Everway. It's called Google Read and Write. It's available to all Scdsb students. It can be used on Google Classroom, which our elementary student panel uses, and it can also be used on the D2L Brightspace panel that our secondary students use. Orbit Note is the sister to Google Read and Write. It is just specifically for PDFs, and it is available as well to all our Simcoe County District School Board students. As well, it can be used on both Google Read and Write and D2L. Read Speaker is very similar to Google Read and Write. It's pretty simplified. It's basically has exactly what the title kind of says to you. It will read the information on D2L to you directly. It's out right into D2L Brightspace, which is available to all our secondary students who use D2L, as well as for those students who have online courses. BoardMaker is available as well. It is one of our purchase softwares through our SCD special education budget. BoardMaker is used for a lot of our EAs, and they make plan boards for our students, or they make the little inserts for our GoTalk students. They make little prompts for students like, please stop, toilet, and those type of things. It's an alternative augmentative communication tool. It bridges the gap for communication for our nonverbal students. It's a symbol-based software for GoTalks and QuickTalks. In summary, we want to embrace assistive technology for inclusive learning. We want to empower our students. It boosts students' confidence, fosters independence, and removes learning barriers. It supports diverse needs by providing personalized tools for varied learning styles and equitable access. It also enhances engagements, improves communication, literacy, and participation for all learners. It helps collaborate and helps our students grow. It is essential for educators and administrators to embrace assistive technology by providing necessary training and to support all students to maximize all benefits of this for all our students and foster continued collaboration.
Okay, thank you very much, Daniela. Does anyone have any questions or comments on the presentation? Kevin, go ahead.
You mentioned earlier on the GoTalk now,
Yeah.
and the GoTalk app. Now, previously, all of that stuff was only covered through ADP. Are we now footing some of the bill?
So a lot of those, the funding model has changed from the ministry. So that happened last year. And so the way those SIA amounts now are given to boards has changed. So yes, that does now come from special education budget.
So it's reduced the time from 2 years down to something reasonable, hopefully.
Yeah, so some of those things have, reduced time in terms of those pieces, while, there's the, maybe reduced time, increased cost. But those are some of the things that are happening and changes within those SIA ministry directives.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions? I just wanted to clarify one thing. You had said about the devices handed out this year. Last year was 900 and something. This year we're up to 500 something. So I just want to clarify, are they new? Like, to me, we'd have at least the same amount plus more every year. But sorry, is it like those 900 people from last year still got theirs again, and then we have 500 something new? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, 500 new claims so far has been issued. That doesn't mean that student is receiving necessarily a brand new Chromebook. We do pull Chromebooks from an unallocated stash of Chromebooks. I shouldn't say stash loosely, but the Chromebooks of students that have graduated or maybe transferred out of board and we don't know the destination of that student, those Chromebooks get recycled basically and go to an unallocated shelf, and they get redistributed to students accordingly.
That's great. Thank you. So yeah, I just wanted to be clear. It's not like it's not like a grade 5 student had it last year and now a grade 6 student has it now. That's part of that 500 number. It's new ones on top of those.
Yes.
That
so
are
that
already in the
Chromebook,
program.
correct. That Chromebook that student was issued last year actually follows them through until that Chromebook, either the student has graduated or that Chromebook has an issue with it. Let's say it's a charging issue or a broken screen. That's when that student, we either decide whether we're going to repair it if this computer is still in warranty, or we would either take it back and send them a new one. But that is just new ones that were sent out.
Okay, that's very interesting. So that's a lot. That's more than half of what we had already in just a few short months. And had to do all over again. Okay, well, that's very interesting information. Thank you for that. Thanks for that clarification.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions or comments from the committee? All right, oh, sorry, Kevin, go ahead. Yep.
My question's about turnaround time. Back in the dark ages, it used to take a very, very, very long time to get equipment to the students. But then again, the packages were much more complex. What's the average turnaround time from identification of need to a device on the student's desk? Do we have any data on that?
I do have a little bit of data, Kevin. It depends on if it's a high priority claim or not. If it's a high priority claim, let's say one of our vision students, that student is generally receiving an iPad with the information that the apps that they have requested within a week. I've asked that all our consultants, as well as like our HRTs and VRTs, they can just message me directly, and I put a high priority flag on that claim, and we make sure everything gets ordered and sent out to them right away. If we don't have that iPad in stock, unfortunately, it takes about 3 weeks to receive it. So sometimes it's 1 to 4 weeks. But generally within a week, we can have that iPad shipped in a courier to that student with all the apps installed.
That's impressive. My experience on the ground isn't quite as, I show up when things go wrong. So obviously it's when paperwork's gone lost. But if that's what you figure the average is, that's quite impressive. Thank you.
Yeah, for just a student receiving a Chromebook, let's say, that isn't a high priority need, it's generally around 4 weeks.
I just had one student where it was over a year where we just said, so it's good to hear.
Thank you. All right, any other questions or comments for Danielle? All right, not seeing any at this time. So thank you very much for joining us, Danielle. I'll extend the same as I did to Director Stevens. You're most welcome to join us, but if you're finished with your portion, feel free to go on with your evening. But thank you very much for your information and your work. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And my email was left in the presentation that is shared in the email that was sent out. So if anyone would like to connect with me, feel free.
Excellent. That's very much appreciated.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Thank you. Okay. All right, so moving along our agenda, that takes us to B. We have no items for decision. So items for information, we have no follow-up from previous meetings. So staff reports. So we have Seac C2A, Special Education Revised Estimates Deferred Revenue with Superintendent Jacobs.
All right, I'm going to just share my screen. Can everyone see that? Yes? 1 second. These are my notes. Oops, 1 sec. Try that again. You can see that again. All right. So, excuse me. So the Simcoe County District School Board remains committed to maximizing educational opportunities and outcomes for students with special education needs in alignment with the board's strategic priorities and within the approved budget. For the 2025-2026 school year, the revised special education budget is $113,392,094. So this amount includes envelope grants and additional funding generated through classroom staffing fund, adjustments to the budget. I'll just scroll down. So funding generated through the classroom staffing fund, adjustments to the budget occur annually based on revised provincial estimates, which reflect changes in enrollment and funding benchmarks for salaries and benefits. So this year, the revised budget did decrease by approximately $205,918, which you can see there. Any savings within the special education budget must remain in special education for future spending. So the surplus from the 2024-2025 school year was $2,881,979, and this was reinvested into the 2025-26 budget. In addition, the Ministry of Education provided $4,595,000 through the Support for Students Fund, which was allocated to hire additional special education staff, educational assistants, special education resource teachers, and other paraprofessional or clinical staff. So, consistent with these priorities established during budget development, reinvestment focuses on 3 key areas. So, school-based staffing to ensure students, particularly in the primary grades, can attend school daily and succeed, providing professional learning and capacity building opportunities to enhance achievement and well-being, and supplying resources that support inclusion. Staffing remains a system priority to maximize outcomes for students with special education needs. So, looking ahead, the Simcoe County District School Board will continue to direct funds in a fiscally responsible, effective, and intentional manner, aligned with the board's priorities. Strategic, sustained investments in program supports and services remain a key focus. So staff will also explore all available funding sources, such as the special incident portion and education program, other grants, to ensure resources are allocated efficiently. Ongoing consultation with the Special Education Advisory Committee provides an important opportunity for input from families and community agencies to ensure financial resources are used in the most impactful way. And with that, I'll take any questions. I'll stop sharing here 1 second. All right, stop sharing.
Thank you very much, Superintendent Jacobs. Kevin, I saw your hand. Please go ahead.
Yes. I'm a little confused over the renaming of all of the sources of income. I'm still stuck about 10, 15 years back with what they called things. The Support for Students Fund. I
Yes.
Googled that before the meeting and came up with absolutely nothing. Do we know what that was called or what it is?
So it's funding. So the union groups, so I have meetings with the union groups, and they do have a say in terms of how the funding is also allocated. So, for instance, I would meet with the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario as to how that SSF funding would be supported. I also meet with the OPSU president as well, and we discuss how that funding will be used. but it does come from the Ministry of Education, of course, and but I am supposed to have union participation in how it's allocated.
Hey, now I know which fund it is.
Okay. What was the previous name?
Was it the local priorities they called it, I
It
think?
was just,
Oh,
yes.
okay. Local
Yeah, it was
credit.
local priorities.
Okay.
Thank you, Kevin. I was searching for that name too, the LPF. Excellent. All right. Any other questions or comments? I had a bit of a question, Superintendent Jacobs. Maybe you can just put my head straight. So, our deferred revenue from, our surplus from last year, it was traditionally more, was it not? It was like 5 or 6 million. And so now we're down to 2.8. And we traditionally did not use all of it, if I'm correct. But now it looks to me like we're down to about half of what we were, and we're needing to use all of it. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, you are very astute and correct. So it is a lower amount than what we're used to having as deferred revenue. It is tied directly to unable to fill positions in our schools. We've done a lot of work with reducing the number of unable to fills in terms of educational assistants and special education resource teachers. So we've improved in that area, but it does directly impact the amount of deferred revenue that we receive.
Okay, so then we also have the budget with the revised budget, we're down by 205, well, almost 206,000. So what would you say the impact of all of these significant decreases will be? How are we going to see that, and how are we going to feel that for the remainder of the school year?
Yeah, so I am working with our principals of special education, as well as our consultants, facilitators, and registered behavior analysts to ensure that we're meeting needs, but staying within the fiscal amounts that we have. And with the complexity of needs, it is tight meeting those needs, but we are doing our best with the resources that we have to meet needs that are in our schools.
Okay, thank you for that. So as a trustee, I think it's always important to pay attention to media and and things like that, information that we're getting from the media and information that we are actually getting through the board. So, what I hear from the media is that the ministry has put more money into special education than they ever have before, and boards have more to work with than ever before. But that does not seem to ring true here. So it seems to be a couple of things. I mean, decrease in enrollment. Sometimes, we are a growth board, but sometimes we don't grow if we haven't grown as much as we expected. I understand that change. But the other big changes, it just doesn't seem to make as much sense to me with the media narrative, right? That they're dumping so much more money into it. And I, like Kevin, I get stuck on some of the new groupings of funds and things like that. I'm wondering if maybe we could even kind of have a maybe not as a detailed one as we always do, but like a quick go over of SIA and SIP and things like that. Just because like I said, I'm not fully sure that I'm fully understanding the changes as they've happened. The change that Megan was talking about, that wasn't one that I had really comprehended. So like I said, I just feel like I'm not really seeing where all these decreases are happening, and that's an important part for us to understand.
Right. And through the chair to the committee, we did recently also go through the special incident portion process of submitting the number of students that require support, specifically educational assistance support. And the numbers were quite a bit higher than they were when it was submitted for the purposes of funding. I can't remember how many years ago it was, probably maybe 6 years even. We do submit numbers on an annual basis, but not necessarily you didn't necessarily get funding for it, but it was a number of years ago that for every SIP claim that you submitted, there was an attached amount, a $27,000 amount. There is a pocket of SIP funding, and we submit our claims, and from this amount of money, we hope to get a portion of that through that process. So, but otherwise, based on the report, yes, the numbers have gone down from previous.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. And I mean, yes, of course, we've gone through those things, and we just wrote our letter where we talked about all the pressures that we are dealing with. So, you know, I mean, I obviously understand where the money's all going and where our pressures are, but it's just like I said, the conflicting narrative from the ministry always bothers me. Kevin, did I see your hand up there? Go ahead.
Try to unmute myself. Is one of the concerns when you start budgeting too close to the line and not getting your not having deferred revenues for next year, which this is getting kind of tight, is the sustainability issue, right? Retention is one of our biggest issues in special education workers. Knowing they have a job is one of the biggest ways of keeping people around. It makes me a little nervous when I don't see a buffer.
Oh, you're muted, Brandy.
Sorry, thank you. I was just agreeing. From the faces, I'm seeing the same nervousness from everyone. I think we all are in agreement there. Okay. Well, I mean, obviously there's oh, sorry, Trustee Lloyd, go ahead.
Thank you, and through you to the group. I think it's really important to sort of clarify what the ministry releases, right? They're talking in overall dollars, right? And you need to remember that the population of Ontario has increased dramatically in the last 3 or 4 years. So overall, their increase in spending, it does not equate to increases at the local level for the board. And I think one of the concerns, we were one of the very few boards in the province that was able to balance our budget this year. Whether that's sustainable or not is certainly questionable moving forward. And I think, the needs of our students we're seeing are greater, and, we are growing still. And so it is a significant concern, the sustainability of our current funding and our current budgeting as to whether or not we will be able to balance a budget next year if there is not considerable investments from the ministry. So could be a very challenging year. I talked to trustee counterparts and other boards where they have not been able to balance their budget, and their only option is to cut programs and services. And that usually, in a board where 85% of your budget is staffing, that usually equates into staffing changes. So I think it is something that we're concerned about, and I think it's something that I know other boards across the province are also very concerned about it, and they're in worse financial position than we are at this point in time.
Yes, thank you for that, Trustee Lloyd. Population growth and inflation. Inflation is such a big one that I don't understand how they don't realize that part when they say they're giving us so much more money, but it's actually not, because of inflation and the amount of students and all of those things. So it's quite scary. I've been extremely proud of our board and what we've been able to do over these last many years that I've been working with Seac, and I'm always impressed at what we can do compared to what I see other boards doing. But it's a scary time that I feel like we're slipping into some scary financial times, and that's going to mean big changes. So I think our advocacy as a committee is more important than ever. So we did just send that letter to the ministry. That's one of the tools that we have. So that's great. That it was good timing that we did that. But I think it's something that we really need to keep talking about and keep up on, and keep talking about what we can do as a committee as well. All right. I don't see any other questions or comments at this time. So sorry, I'm just going back to our agenda here. Okay, so back to our agenda. That takes us to Committee reports, which we have none. So next up, we have Seac member updates. So I'll just remind everyone, we do have a few newer members. We've had a few people join us over the last few meetings. We've kind of had a new person every meeting for a little while. So I'll just remind everyone that this is the portion that you can feel free to share anything. If you have something to share about your organization, maybe some work that you've done with the board, or maybe something that you're offering that you'd like to share, or just a question that you have or anything like that, this is a great time for you to do that. So I will ask, does anyone have any updates for us? Anything that you would like to share? It's always a slow start, and then there's always lots after that. Anyone have anything to start us off? Or it's January, we're just getting going again. Maybe that's it. Andrea, go ahead.
I'll share something just off the top of my head. I'm glad to be back in January, fresh start to the year. One of the things that's happened at Catalpa is we've had some staffing changes. So I just noticed today that there was an email that's come through requesting some training for the board staff around how our agency sort of is structured and who we provide support to. So, you know, as a school board and your staff teams, keep a lookout for that, because we're going to be doing some training and sort of community resourcing around how our agency provides service to the community and the diversity of that. So don't have a date, but it's going to come.
Great. Thank you very much for that, Andrea. All right. Anyone have anything else? Just going to take another quick look. No, it's January. It's quiet. We're all recovering from the holidays. Oh, Sarah, go ahead.
I'll be brave. My first meeting, I may as well speak up. So kind of in similar alignment to what Andrea was sharing. So within my role, I'm going to say I have multiple intersections with the Simcoe County District School Board, as well as other school boards within our region and in our area. And a lot of changes have been happening from the early intervention system and what our partnerships with our school boards look like as children enter school for the first time, whether it's kindergarten or whether it's grade 1. So just kind of wanted to use the opportunity to acknowledge that those like tight partnerships at various committees. So I'm also sit at the Transition to School Subcommittee, which is a subcommittee of Early Intervention Council. And we're in the process of doing some nice work of trying to kind of summarize all the information about who is doing what and what things look like to be able to support board staff in the front line, because there's a lot of questions around where certain reports are, who's available for consultation, and being able to support that transition to school. So similar work as to Andrea is kind of happening at a few other tables that I'm at. And, you know, kind of linking to that budgetary component too, it's those ad hoc partnership opportunities and intersections that really help us be strong partners for being able to support those children and families in their transitions. So nice opportunity to celebrate that too and share a little bit more about me. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Sarah. We appreciate that update. Excellent. All right. Well, I'm not seeing anything else at this time. As always, if you do have any events or anything that you would like to share, you can pass those on to Lori, and she'll pass them on to the rest of the committee and make sure we get them in the minutes as well. All right. Okay. So board member updates. Trustee Lloyd, would you be ready to give us a board update?
Certainly. As everyone knows, it was a bit of a shortened month since our last meeting because we had the holidays, but I just there were a few things that I thought I would highlight from our December board meeting. Trustee assignments for 2026 were approved at that board meeting. And as such, there were 3 trustees that are appointed to Seac, and that is Trustee Rafiq, myself, and Trustee Lynn Strawn, who will be joining us for this year. As was previously mentioned, the Seac letter to the ministry was approved and was sent at our December 17th meeting. The director shared her annual report to the community during that board meeting, which is a requirement that the director of education update the community. So that is available. And then also the report of trustee attendance for the year was approved, and it gets posted to the public website as well. And since then, it's been relatively quiet from the minister. We haven't heard as much as we did before the holidays. You know, as you might have all heard, the ministry has announced a new kindergarten curriculum. that will be coming into effect this coming fall. So that I was just reading through some of that today. And there'll be learning opportunities for educators between now and next fall, but there should be more to come with respect to that as well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Trustee Lloyd. Okay. All right. So next up on our agenda is our golden buzzer, which I believe we have a special guest for this evening. But Principal Francis, you want to start us off?
Yes, I'm delighted to introduce our special guest. Who shared some of this at our last department meeting, and it was wonderful. So I have asked Lisa Creighton, one of our vision resource teachers, to come and share this with you. So Lisa is a vision resource teacher with our board and has been for some time, also specializes in orientation and mobility for students. And so I will let her share this very wonderful story about one of the students that she's been working with.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I hope you can hear me okay. It's been a while since I've done a Zoom meeting, so I'm going to share my screen here. And I will, sorry. Can you still hear me? Yep. Okay. So I can't see anyone and I can't hear anyone. So
we don't see your screen yet, Lisa.
You don't see my screen. Okay, thank you for that. I did press share. Do I need permissions? I'm wondering if that's...
I've given you permission, Lisa.
Thank you kindly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It should be shared.
Okay. How is the... We're getting there. Okay.
Okay, we can see it now.
Thank you kindly. Thank you. Sorry for the delay there. So I am a vision resource teacher, just over 10 years with the Scdsb. I've worked with kids K to 12 in our board, all kinds of levels. And this young person came to me at the end of the summer. We were looking at caseloads. C is a student who is entering JK. A young JK just turned 4 over Labor Day weekend. And when we are preparing to welcome a student who is blind to the board, of course, we're looking through reports, and often these guys and gals come with quite a bit of paperwork, a lot of different assessments. So in looking at that and preparing, we're often looking at the transition plan, and it was quite a package for this young student. Within it, these are the main points that we kind of took into our first meeting. He is blind, light perception only, nonverbal. There was just approaching one word kind of verbalizations. Global developmental delay was mentioned quite a few times, and that he tires easily, was still napping full time, and would start on a modified day. Why this is important, all of this, is because it helps us to conceptualize what support might look like. If because he is on paper, he's legally blind and all of the rest, we fully anticipated him being at least half of a caseload for a vision resource teacher, plus the support of an EA down the road, perhaps Brailing EA, those types of things. So low incidence disability as far as blindness, but high resource. That's how we usually think about things. So big team. And then the next slide, sorry, I will go to the next. My 3 main goals for a student such as this paper child, so as far as I had only read about him, was keep him safe. The 3 things: keep him safe, make sure school is a positive place, and teaching basic routines and how to be at school. We anticipated this regulation in it being everything new and having rely on just hearing. We wanted to kind of create quiet spaces when needed and breaks and those kinds of things. Early days, the student experienced a lot of sensory overwhelm and dysregulation. There was a lot of screaming. There was biting.
Sometimes if the other children were close enough on the carpet, there would be attempted biting attempts of not just the EA, but also to other children. He was in a stroller or chair. A lot of the time, parents really wanted him to be down on the carpet with other children as much as possible. We, in the beginning, grappled with unsafe movement, and when he was tired, and because of the condition and the overwhelm, he was tired a lot by the end of the day. We had to give him time to adjust. I want to just mention quickly here that he did not end up coming for a modified day. We were looking at full days every day for kindergarten from the start. So I just want to share a quick little video here. I'll get out of this and find my video. And this is what I shared with the team. And this is my youngster. Can you see that as well, Megan? Sorry. Yes. Okay. Thank you. So,
sorry, no video yet. Still just the slide
photo,
deck.
just a still photo. I have some still photos while I chat a bit, and then I'll stop talking when the clips start up there. And it's
okay. We don't see the photo yet, Lisa. We just still see your.
Oh, sorry.
I think you got to scroll down.
Sorry, it's open on mine, but it wants me to probably choose it in the sharing. Sorry about that. It wants me to choose this one. Thank you for that, Megan. Okay, can you see my young friend here now?
Yep, we can see him now.
Thank you kindly. Okay, so I will just play this. So this was the first day of school. These are shakers. We would look at matching sounds, and we got him doing all kinds of neat things, fine motor. And what we soon learned about this little guy is he was seeing a lot more than no light perception. He was also verbalizing a lot more than being nonverbal. He was experiencing quite a bit of joy being part of the school and joining us in a field trip to the fire hall. Lots of hands-on, braille on his rock where he would show that he was there for the day. And I'm going to pause it here quickly. Before he came to school, he was not tolerating, it said in the report, not tolerating the stander or walker at home. So we had a lot of success in him wanting to be able to move more independently at the school. So once we were addressing some of the overwhelm, we were able to layer in these other pieces. So we will just head forward. He's using lots more fine motor, popping bubble wrap, which is a fun thing. Trailing the wall, which is a great travel technique for students who are blind. Here we're doing more tactile table jobs in the same classroom. And this just highlights what we did is we're building in opportunities to play in a safe manner, in a regulated manner. And the idea is we then will bring, because the classroom with many children, 27 loud kindergarten children, can be quite overwhelming. And it was unsafe. It was proving unsafe in how he was moving his body in times out of the chair. This was just the gross motor playroom where we learn how to play. We learn how to play regulated, and we learn to do turn taking. We learn to ask. There's lots of verbalization happening. And our golden buzzer is, and our great reminder, and what I shared with the central team is to always meet the student where they are, not just what it says in that first report you get. Be open to learning and be open to seeing what that student can do and the potential and helping to grow that. Taking part in phys ed class. We're seeing more ability to find things visually.
And Lisa, I wonder if you could at some point too just share what Mom had to say at the end of
Definitely.
school. And I know we don't have the benefit of the sound on this, but what you may not know is that he is singing the alphabet, loud and clear in this clip as well, and it is just beautiful.
Sorry, I thought you could hear it. I apologize. I thought you can't hear his voice. Oh, I'm so sorry. I guess it's not allowing me to share that. If I'm not sure we can talk, Megan, but I'm not sure if I'm able to share this after. If that's an okay thing to do, then people can also hear that. I apologize. I thought you could hear it. Must be a setting I have on. I don't want to take up much more of your time, but I will say he is interacting. A lot of pre-braille skills are talking about textures and tactile skills. He is definitely picking all of these things out, telling me what materials things are made of. And the big thing is when it's about Halloween, and I'm thinking, okay, things I'm seeing are very different than things in the transition plan. And I call Mom, and we had a really great conversation. And I say, I'm stuck on a few key things here. The vision piece, I'm seeing him using vision, but also the big thing is the nonverbal, that piece. And she says, I wish I could throw that piece away from that report, because that's definitely not what we're seeing at home. And I'm so happy to hear you're seeing the same thing, and that they're very close with his grandparents as well. And the parents and grandparents have all been completely blown away by how much his vocabulary has grown since starting school. And that was the end of October. So in 2 short months, while also accounting for fatigue and overwhelm, sensory overwhelm. There have been so many gains and so many wins, and this this school community has been exemplary in enveloping this student and including him. I'm careful to include clips where it's just him, but do believe he is incorporated and integrated into the entire school community. So I champion them, and it's just it just really makes me quite happy in setting him off on the right path in his education in this sport. So I know the Vision Resource team has always felt quite supported by the central team, and that continues here. So thank you, and thanks for allowing me to share. And if I can share this, I do have permission. I don't know if that would be of help. Sorry, the sound didn't come through.
That's okay. We could see the joy in his face. Thank you so much for sharing. That was really, really wonderful. Our golden buzzer is always such a great part of our meeting to to really highlight the amazing work that is being done all through the board and to see these great success stories. So thank you so much. This little guy, he's got a hard go. I can't imagine all the things that he's dealing with and trying to learn and everything. And it's amazing to see the leaps and bounds. And thank you to his family too, not only for what they've shared with you, but for allowing you to share this with us, right? This is their personal story. It's a difficult journey that they're on. And I really, if you ever get the moment to, if it's appropriate, please thank them for bringing us into their world and allowing you to share this with us, because I think it's so important for so many reasons. So thank you very much. Okay. All right. All right, so back to our agenda. So next up we have correspondence, which we have done this evening. Do we have anything for other matters? Does anyone have anything they wanted to ask or share that there just hasn't been an appropriate time yet? And you had something you wanted to bring up? Not seeing anything at this time. Okay, do we have any notice of motion for next meeting? Not seeing any. All right, so then I would be looking for a motion to adjourn. Kevin and Kristen, thank you very much. All those in favor? And that carries. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. So our next meeting will be on Monday, February the 9th. So we will see you then. Have a great evening, everyone. Thanks very much.